Have you ever sat down with your morning coffee, added a little something extra to it, maybe sugar, cream, or even a pastry on the side, and thought, "This is my happy place"? For many of us, coffee isn't just a drink, it's a ritual, a comfort, and sometimes even a lifeline. But what if I told you that some of the things we pair with coffee could be doing more harm than good? It might sound surprising, but studies suggest that certain combinations can wreak havoc on your health over time, especially as we age. Now, before we dive in, let me share something fascinating. Coffee itself has been linked to numerous health benefits when consumed in moderation. Research from institutions like Harvard shows that coffee contains antioxidants and compounds that may reduce the risk of chronic diseases such as type 2 diabetes, Parkinson's disease, and even certain types of cancer. But here's the catch: what you add to your coffee, or eat alongside it, can turn this healthy habit into one that undermines your well-being. In today's video, we're going to uncover the 3 foods you should skip pairing with your coffee. And trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end, because the last one might shock you. These small changes could have a big impact on how you feel every day, helping you avoid bloating, energy crashes, and even long-term health issues. Before we begin, I want to make one thing clear. This video is for informational purposes only, and is based on publicly available research. Everyone's health is different, so always consult your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your lifestyle, diet, or exercise routine. Scientific knowledge is always evolving, and what works for one person may not work for another. Let's start with the first food combination you'll want to rethink: sugary pastries. Think about it. How often do you enjoy a donut, croissant, or muffin with your coffee? It's tempting, right? The sweetness balances the bitterness of the coffee, and it feels indulgent. But here's the problem. Loading up on refined carbohydrates and sugar first thing in the morning can send your blood sugar levels on a roller coaster ride. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that consuming high glycemic foods, like those sweet treats, can lead to spikes in blood sugar followed by sharp drops, leaving you feeling sluggish and craving more snacks later in the day. For seniors, this is particularly concerning because maintaining stable blood sugar levels becomes increasingly important as we age. Blood sugar fluctuations can contribute to fatigue, irritability, and even increase the risk of developing insulin resistance over time. And let's not forget the long-term effects. Consistently pairing coffee with sugary pastries may raise your risk of weight gain, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes, all conditions that become more prevalent after 60. But here's the good news. Breaking this habit doesn't mean giving up all enjoyment. Instead of reaching for a glazed donut, try pairing your coffee with something healthier, like a handful of nuts or a slice of whole grain toast topped with avocado. These options provide sustained energy without the crash, thanks to their healthy fats, fiber, and protein content. I'll share a quick story with you. A friend of mine named Margaret used to love dunking chocolate croissants into her coffee every morning. She noticed she'd feel great for an hour or two, but then she'd hit a wall of exhaustion. When she switched to almond butter on whole grain toast instead, she told me she felt more energized throughout the day and no longer had those mid-morning cravings. Small swaps like these can make a world of difference. Now let's talk about why this matters specifically for seniors. As we age, our metabolism slows down and our bodies process sugar less efficiently. Pairing coffee with sugary foods can exacerbate these challenges, leading to unwanted weight gain and increased inflammation. Chronic inflammation, in particular, is linked to many age-related conditions, including arthritis, heart disease, and cognitive decline. By skipping the pastries and choosing smarter options, you're taking a proactive step toward protecting your health. You might be wondering, what if I really crave something sweet? That's okay. Moderation is key. If you're going to indulge occasionally, try smaller portions or opt for naturally sweetened alternatives like fruit. Just remember, consistency is what truly impacts your health over time. Now that we've covered sugary pastries, let's move on to another common culprit, one that might surprise you. Let's talk about dairy-heavy additives like whipped cream and flavored syrups. Now that we've talked about sugary pastries, let's move on to another common culprit that often accompanies coffee, one that might surprise you. Let's talk about dairy-heavy additives like whipped cream, flavored syrups, and even excessive amounts of whole milk or creamer. Many people love these additions because they make coffee richer and more indulgent. But here's the thing, they can come with some unintended consequences, especially as we age. Let's start by addressing flavored syrups, those little bottles of caramel, vanilla, or hazelnut goodness that seem so harmless. While they add a burst of sweetness and flavor, most store-bought syrups are packed with artificial ingredients, high fructose corn syrup, and preservatives. A single pump might not seem like much, but if you're adding multiple pumps to your coffee, you're essentially drinking liquid sugar. Over time, this habit can contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, and inflammation, all of which become bigger concerns as we grow older. Here's where science comes in. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition found that consuming foods high in added sugars, including flavored syrups, is associated with an increased risk of metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that includes high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar levels, and excess body fat around the waist. For seniors, managing these factors is crucial for reducing the risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Now, what about heavy cream or whipped cream? While full-fat dairy isn't inherently bad, in fact, it contains beneficial fats that support brain health. The problem arises when we consume it in excess. Whipped cream, in particular, is incredibly calorie-dense and low in nutrients. If you're sipping on a large coffee topped with whipped cream every day, those extra calories can add up quickly, leading to unwanted weight gain. And for seniors who may already struggle with maintaining a healthy weight, this can be especially problematic. I'll share a story with you. A woman named Linda once told me she used to order a fancy coffee drink loaded with whipped cream and caramel syrup every morning. She loved how decadent it felt, but over time, she noticed her clothes were fitting tighter and she felt sluggish during the day. When she switched to black coffee with just a splash of unsweetened almond milk, she said she immediately started feeling lighter and more energetic. It wasn't about deprivation. It was about making smarter choices that aligned with her goals. So what's the alternative? If you enjoy creaminess in your coffee, consider using a splash of unsweetened plant-based milk like almond, oat, or coconut milk. These options are lower in calories and free of added sugars, making them a healthier choice without sacrificing flavor. Or, if you prefer dairy, opt for a small amount of whole milk or half and half instead of piling on the whipped cream. Moderation is key. You don't have to give up the things you love entirely, but being mindful of portion sizes can go a long way. Speaking of mindfulness, let's address another concern many seniors face: lactose intolerance. As we age, our bodies often produce less lactase, the enzyme needed to digest lactose, which is the sugar found in milk and other dairy products. This means that even if you've enjoyed dairy your whole life, you might start noticing bloating, gas, or discomfort after consuming it. Pairing coffee with large amounts of dairy could exacerbate these symptoms, leaving you feeling less than your best. The solution? Try experimenting with non-dairy alternatives to see what works for you. Many people find that plant-based milks not only alleviate digestive issues, but also provide a refreshing change to their usual coffee routine. Plus, many brands now fortify their plant-based milks with calcium and vitamin D, ensuring you're still getting essential nutrients for bone health, a critical consideration for seniors. Now let's shift gears slightly and talk about something else you might pair with coffee: salty snacks like chips, pretzels, or even savory pastries. At first glance, this combination might seem odd. Who eats chips with coffee? But think about those mid-morning breaks at work or social gatherings where coffee and snacks are served together. Salty snacks might not be the first thing that comes to mind when discussing coffee pairings, but they're worth mentioning because of how they interact with caffeine and hydration levels. Here's why this matters. Coffee is a mild diuretic, meaning it can cause your body to lose water. Adding salty snacks into the mix only compounds this effect, as sodium further dehydrates your system. Dehydration becomes a bigger risk as we age because our sense of thirst diminishes, making it easier to overlook the need for fluids. Chronic dehydration can lead to fatigue, confusion, and even kidney problems over time. Let me give you an example. A gentleman named Robert shared with me that he used to snack on pretzels while sipping his coffee during meetings. He noticed he'd feel parched afterward and sometimes experienced headaches later in the day. Once he swapped the pretzels for fresh fruit or raw vegetables, he said he felt more hydrated and alert. It was such a simple change, but it made a noticeable difference in how he felt. Before we move on, let's recap why avoiding these coffee companions matters. Sugary pastries spike your blood sugar. Dairy-heavy additives can lead to excess calories and digestive discomfort, and salty snacks contribute to dehydration. By skipping these three culprits, you're taking a proactive step toward better health. And trust me, your body will thank you for it. Now that we've covered these habits, let's dive deeper into how small changes can add up to big results. We'll explore actionable strategies to help you stay consistent, overcome challenges, and embrace healthier routines moving forward. Let's get started. Now that we've covered the 3 foods you should skip pairing with your coffee, sugary pastries, dairy-heavy additives, and salty snacks, let's talk about how to make these changes stick. I know what some of you might be thinking. Easier said than done. Breaking old habits can feel challenging, especially when they're tied to something as comforting and routine as your morning coffee. But here's the good news. Small, consistent actions can lead to lasting results, and there are plenty of strategies to help you stay on track. Let's start by addressing one of the biggest hurdles, cravings. It's natural to crave sweetness or indulgence, especially if you've been pairing coffee with treats like donuts or flavored syrups for years. The key is finding satisfying alternatives that still bring joy to your coffee ritual without compromising your health. For example, instead of a sugar-laden caramel latte, try adding a sprinkle of cinnamon or a dash of unsweetened cocoa powder to your coffee. Both options add flavor without the sugar spike, and they're incredibly easy to incorporate into your routine. I'll share another story with you. A man named Paul once told me he struggled to give up his daily mocha drink loaded with whipped cream. He decided to experiment with black coffee topped with a dollop of coconut yogurt and a drizzle of almond butter. To his surprise, he loved the creamy texture and nutty flavor. And over time, he stopped craving the overly sweet version altogether. It's proof that sometimes, all it takes is a little creativity to transform your habits. Now let's talk about overcoming resistance. You might be wondering, what if I slip up? Does that mean I've failed? Absolutely not. Change doesn't happen overnight, and setbacks are part of the process. If you find yourself reaching for a pastry or pouring extra syrup into your coffee, don't beat yourself up. Instead, focus on progress, not perfection. Every time you choose a healthier option, you're taking a step toward better health. Here's a tip: keep healthier alternatives readily available. If you have fresh fruit, nuts, or no sugar-added almond milk in your kitchen, you're more likely to reach for those instead of processed snacks or sugary additives. Preparation is key. When healthy choices are convenient, they become the default. Speaking of convenience, let's address another common challenge: dining out or grabbing coffee on the go. Many seniors enjoy socializing over coffee at cafes or restaurants, but these settings can make it harder to avoid unhealthy pairings. The solution? Plan ahead. Most coffee shops now offer low-sugar options like almond milk lattes or espresso shots without added syrups. Don't be afraid to customize your order. It's your health, after all. And if you're meeting friends for coffee and dessert, consider sharing a treat instead of having one all to yourself. This way, you can still indulge occasionally without overdoing it. Another important aspect of staying consistent is understanding why these changes matter. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to dietary choices. For example, research from the National Institutes of Health shows that excessive sugar intake is linked to inflammation, which contributes to chronic conditions like arthritis, heart disease, and cognitive decline. Similarly, high sodium levels can raise blood pressure, increasing the risk of stroke, a major concern for seniors. By skipping sugary, salty, and heavy dairy-based foods with your coffee, you're not just avoiding discomfort. You're actively protecting yourself from preventable health issues. But here's something else to consider. Mindset plays a huge role in making sustainable changes. Many people assume aging means giving up the things they love, but that's simply not true. Healthy living isn't about restriction, it's about balance and intentionality. Think of it this way: every time you choose a nutrient-dense snack over a sugary treat, you're investing in your future self. That's empowering. Let's talk about emotional well-being for a moment. Loneliness and stress can often lead to emotional eating, which might include reaching for comfort foods alongside your coffee. A study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that staying socially engaged and maintaining strong relationships can significantly improve mental health and reduce the risk of depression among seniors. So, whether it's calling a friend, joining a community group, or simply spending time with family, nurturing your connections can inspire you to make healthier choices too. I want to leave you with a powerful fact. A study from Johns Hopkins University suggests that adopting just one new healthy habit, like improving your diet, can increase lifespan and enhance quality of life. Imagine the impact of combining several small changes, like swapping sugary pastries for fresh fruit or switching to plant-based milk. These decisions may seem minor in the moment, but over time, they add up to create profound benefits for your body and mind. Now that you have these tools and insights, let's wrap things up with some final words of motivation and a simple challenge you can start today. Because at the end of the day, aging doesn't mean losing control of your health. It means taking charge of it in smarter, more intentional ways. Now that we've explored the 3 foods you should skip pairing with your coffee, sugary pastries, dairy-heavy additives, and salty snacks, and discussed how to make healthier choices a sustainable part of your routine, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. These small adjustments might seem simple, but they have the power to transform how you feel every single day. By swapping out unhealthy options for smarter alternatives, you're not just protecting your body, you're investing in a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. Let's recap why these changes matter so much. Sugary pastries can send your blood sugar levels on a roller coaster ride, leaving you fatigued and increasing your risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. Dairy-heavy additives, while delicious, can add unnecessary calories and potentially trigger digestive discomfort, especially for those who are lactose intolerant. And salty snacks. They can dehydrate your body, exacerbating issues like fatigue and confusion, problems that become more prevalent as we age. By skipping these culprits and opting for nutrient-dense alternatives, you're taking control of your health in meaningful ways. But here's the thing, knowledge is only powerful when it's put into action. You don't need to overhaul your entire routine overnight. Start small. Maybe it's replacing flavored syrup with a sprinkle of cinnamon or swapping whipped cream for a splash of unsweetened almond milk. Over time, these little changes add up, creating habits that support your well-being in profound ways. Experts agree that consistency is key when it comes to making lasting lifestyle improvements. Even 10 minutes spent preparing a healthier coffee pairing can make a noticeable difference in how you feel throughout the day. I want to leave you with a story that illustrates just how transformative small habits can be. A woman named Evelyn once told me she decided to rethink her coffee routine after years of pairing it with sugary treats and heavy cream. She started by making one change at a time, first switching to black coffee with a teaspoon of honey, then experimenting with plant-based milks, and eventually adding fresh fruit as a side instead of pastries. Within weeks, she noticed she had more energy, fewer cravings, and an overall sense of lightness she hadn't felt in years. She said to me, "It wasn't about being perfect, it was about progress. I realized that taking care of myself didn't have to be overwhelming, it just had to be consistent." Now, some of you might still be thinking, what if I slip up? That's okay. Life happens, and no one expects you to be perfect. The goal isn't perfection, it's improvement. If you indulge in a sweet treat or a creamy latte occasionally, don't stress about it. What matters most is the overall pattern of your choices. Each healthy decision moves you closer to feeling your best. Let's talk about mindset for a moment. As we age, it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, "It's too late for me to make a difference." But science shows us that it's never too late to start making healthier choices. A study published in The Lancet found that adopting even one new healthy habit later in life, like improving your diet, can significantly increase lifespan and enhance quality of life. So whether you're 60, 70, 80, or beyond, every positive step you take matters. Another important aspect of aging well is staying socially engaged. Did you know that loneliness can have a profound impact on both mental and physical health? Studies suggest that maintaining strong social ties reduces the risk of depression, anxiety, and even chronic diseases. While we've been talking about coffee pairings today, don't forget to nourish your relationships too. Share these tips with a friend or family member, or invite someone over for coffee while you try out your new, healthier combinations. These moments of connection are just as vital as the habits themselves. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these coffee swaps resonated most with you? Are there any alternatives you're excited to try? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one, and your thoughts might inspire others who are looking for ideas. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on healthy aging. Sharing this video with a loved one could also be a wonderful way to spread the message of vitality and self-care. Finally, I want to remind you of something important. Aging doesn't mean losing control of your health. It means taking charge of it in smarter, more intentional ways. Every day is a new opportunity to nourish your body, nurture your mind, and connect with the people and activities that bring you joy. Whether it's through choosing healthier coffee pairings, staying active, or simply smiling at someone you love, you have the power to shape your own journey. So here's to living your best life at any age, and to embracing the small, meaningful steps that lead to big results. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and remember, small actions lead to lasting change. Here's to your health.